YouTube, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I'm Zach here with Extreme Outfitters. And so, you just bought a new bow, maybe a ready to hunt package. Maybe you invested a lot of money in a nice flagship platform, but maybe you didn't have all the funds you needed to get on your accessories, so you skimped on your accessories a little bit. So that's what we're talking about today. What upgrades should you make first as far as accessories go? And we kind of prioritize what we think is more important, and we're going to go in that order. So starting with that, we're looking at, this pertains more so to your ready to hunt package bows or your budget friendly bows. And that is the initial thing that we would upgrade on those is going to be your strings. So a lot of your entry level or mid price point bows don't come with the greatest strings right out of the gate. And strings are important, obviously. They hold the bow together. There's a lot of tension on them. And when strings stretch, the bow tends to come out of time. You'll notice that your peep starts to twist a lot. It'll really drive you crazy. So the first thing that we would look at upgrading on a bow, more so, like I said, your budget friendly or entry level bows, is gonna be the strings. And this is just gonna help to provide a little bit more performance out of your bow. Keep that bow in time, keep that bow shooting well. When you're looking at getting into strings, we would definitely look at spending money on a quality string manufacturer. One of the ones that we use here at Extreme Outfitters is Gas Bowstrings. So they have a variety of different strings. The cool thing about strings, you can get them custom, whatever color configurations you want. But with strings like gas strings, they're made out of a higher or a better material, which is going to last long. So for example, Gas warranties their strings for a year, so you're guaranteed no peep twist, which will drive you crazy if you've dealt with that before. And this is going to help eliminate any stretch in your strings. So these are all pre-stretched strings. So once the bow's set back up and put back in time with these strings, you don't have to worry about it constantly coming out of time. And what that is where these strings don't, or these, cams roll over and sink. It's very, very important to have a good set of strings. So from there, whether you've purchased a high-end flagship bow or a budget-friendly bow and you didn't get quite the high-end accessories that you're looking for and you want to upgrade, our next upgrade would be your rest. So, for example here, this is a flagship bow by Matthews. This is the Lift 29.5. We have a lot of customers that come in and they really want to get a really good platform, but they don't have quite the budget for their high-end accessories. So we send a lot of bows out with a whisker biscuit as far as the rest goes right away. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the whisker biscuit. It's been around for a long time. It's tried and true. A lot of people still use them and prefer them. But if you're looking to upgrade your rest, we would look at going at your drop away option. And the reason that you may want to upgrade as far as arrow rests go is a little bit more performance and tunability out of the bow. And when I say performance, I'm not so much talking about speed, because there's not a big difference when it comes to speed between a whisker biscuit and an arrow rest. We've done a lot of testing. I'll actually link some videos down below so you can see a more in-depth review on actual arrow rests, whisker biscuits versus dropaways. But you gain performance as far as tunability wise, a little bit more consistency and accuracy when it comes to long-term performance, especially out to distance. So whisker biscuits, they don't have your micro adjustability in them. So when it comes to broadhead tuning and stuff like that, it can be a little bit more difficult and require a little bit more effort on your end. But when you go to something like a drop away rest, whether it's a limb driven system from Hamskea or Ripcord, or you go the Q8E route with which is a cable driven rest, you get a little bit more fine tuned adjustment in those rests. That just makes it easier, especially whenever it comes to broadhead tuning. So if you got to do any kind of adjustments to bring that broadhead into closer to your field point on impact, having a rest that allows you to actually micro adjust your windage and elevation makes it that much easier. So a good rest is critical when it comes to performance on a bow. So that is the next thing I would upgrade aside from strings on a more of your entry level or budget friendly bow. And then finally from there, the next thing I would look at doing is upgrading your sight. So if you ended up going with a ready to hunt package, typically you're gonna get a fixed 3-pin or fixed 5-pin sight on your bow, and it'll do just fine. But with anything, when you upgrade in price, you typically get a little bit better equipment. So for example, this is all plastic material. It doesn't have a second or third axis adjustment on it, which if you know anything about archery, Most of our bow hunters are shooting some kind of elevation, whether it's out of a stand or you're shooting crazy terrain where you've got steep angles. Having a sight that you can adjust the second and third axis is critical for being accurate, especially when we look at those steep angles. Because if your axis or axes are not leveled on your sight, you are typically gonna miss left or right. So that's where a quality sight comes into play. One, you get a little bit better material, so something that's gonna be a little bit more robust, more durable pins. Maybe your pins are gonna be a little bit brighter, and then you get that adjustment ability within the sight too to level those axes. Aside from that, you get more mounting options. So for example, if you went with like a Matthews lift and you want to utilize their bridge lock technology, and initially right out of the gate you didn't spend a lot of money on a sight, you can get a sight that integrates into this actual riser here that's going to make this platform a nice low profile platform where nothing's mounted off to the side. And then you get the dovetail options again, which if you're somebody who's looking for fine tune adjustments, you can move that dovetail in or out on your bow to really get that perfect peep alignment for you. Again, your quality is increased, and then you have different options as far as pin configurations go. For example, Spot Hog's a very popular sight for us. They are known for durability and being very robust, just a really bulletproof, bomb-proof sight. With these, you have the ability to get vertical pins. So this right here is the new Boonie. This is a triple stack sight option. So instead of horizontal pins, you've got the ability to have 3 vertical pins. So everything's in line. You can set your 20, 30, 40, and then you can really dial this sight for exact yardage as you see fit or whatever distances you're shooting. So a really, really great option. And there's a ton of options out there. But those are the 3 things that we would recommend. It's a down and dirty video, just a quick little bit of information on what we would recommend in what order as far as upgrading accessories on your bow. And then from there, you've got your other accessories that aren't quite as important. They're still important accessories, but they don't have the same impact as far as accuracy, tunability, and shootability of your bow. And those are your stabilizers and your quiver. Both, there's a lot of options for either of them. There's a lot of stabilizer options, quiver options. Obviously, we want a good quiver that's gonna retain our arrows well, but most quivers do a really good job. From there, you can really take and invest a little bit more money, or when it comes to stabilizers, look at playing with different lengths to change the hold of your bow. So there it is in a nutshell, real quick down and dirty on the accessories that we would recommend you changing for your, or upgrading on your bow after you've made your initial purchase and you want to spend a little bit more money on the accessory wise. Again, appreciate you guys watching. Head over to the website, extremeoutfitters.com, for any and all of your accessory needs, whether you need to upgrade your rest, your sight, quiver, stabilizer, they're all over there on the website, extremeoutfitters.com. And as always, we appreciate you guys watching.